Good morning, my friends. It is Takeaway Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Tina Kavergich up here. You know what? If you can't say that, if you can't spell it, that's totally okay. You can always just call me Northern Stamper. You can reach me at northernstamper@gmail.com. I am just so excited. Today we are doing another great card with some designer series paper from the mini catalog. And it is today I'm going to be using Take a Bow DSP. Whoops, where is it? Right there on page 39. We're going to be making something very, very cool with this paper. Also, I wanted to point out, if you ever look in the catalog, right on page 15, there are some great little ephemera packs. Okay, I want to particularly bring your eye down to this one, which is a sentiment one. You don't want to miss that. It is fantastic. So I've been using these on all of my Christmas cards. They are fantastic. I love the sentiment packs that they have. Turns out really, really nice. So the sentiment packs, um, it's a mix and match. You can do a whole bunch of different. So they're $13. Great price. And you know what? They go really, really well on the cards that you create and stuff like that. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. There is a little pack of ephemera packs. I know you can't quite see them in here, but they're little images. I don't have one available or open. I've used them all up. So there's a lot of cute ones. But you know what? For November, we are going to be doing on the next page. Oops, maybe not that page. Sorry, the next page. On page 18, take a look. There's a DSP pack in here. It's called A Little Bit Festive, and it comes with one, two, three double, printed on both sides DSP, and some larger ephemera packs, and we're going to be using that. So it is actually really, really nice. And there's some ephemera items in here, so there's on the other side of the pack. The ephemeras that come in here are a little bit larger than the ones from the other page, and they turn out really nice. And what we're going to be doing for the Takeaway Tuesday in November is use this along with some cardstock that I sent out to you. We got some really great cards for that, and we are going to be making in November, Takeaway Tuesday, we're going to be making um, 8 cards. So I have them already done. So there are 8 cards that we're going to be using with the festive, a little bit festive designer series paper. Okay, so I have like one extra pack left. So if you're interested, let me know, um, and I can send that out to you. First of all, I have to thank Joan. I gotta show you these cards. I gotta thank Joan for sending me this super duper cute. Look at this card. It's a cute little Halloween card. I just love it. Check out, it is little cross-stitched cat. Look at that. That is so darn cute. Thank you, Joan, for sending that. But not only the card, when I got the envelope and I got it out of the mailbox, I noticed this little stamp in the corner. I just love it. It is such a cute little thing. Always tell you, stamp your envelopes, put something on it. It gets a little bit of a excitement for the person receiving it. Thank you, Joan, for that. I have to thank Sarah for sending me this. She made a card for me. It was using the paper pumpkin kit. I love it. Oh, look at that. It's so cute the way it opens up. And she even tossed in a little gift, and I'm going to put my keys on that when I go upstairs today. Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Again, look, she does the outside of the envelope. I was very happy. I didn't want to rip it at all to open it, and it is designed on a little card flap. Fantastic. You know what? If you followed along with me, you know that I do in-house classes, and this weekend was an absolute whirlwind. So I had one on Saturday. It was so much fun. We had got together, and on Sunday, we there was a class here, and we made these cute, super duper little tags. Now, I'm going to be showing you the projects that we made for those that I made on Sunday, but that won't be a little bit later in November. I'll be doing a video on that. But take a look at these. Very cute. I love them. Okay, these, you know what? Whenever I make things like this, I have a hard time putting on the presents. I just want to keep them for myself so I can look at them. I don't know. That's just me. Also, I have a video coming up. If you purchased a Christmas wishes kit with me, I am editing right now the video for some alternatives. This is one of the alternatives, very cute. If you look at it, it looks like one piece altogether, but it opens up. And there we go, one and another flap on the inside, and that was done later last week. And I will be setting up a video for this. So Christmas wishes, when you purchase that kit with me, I will send you a link for the edited video that will be coming very shortly. If you follow my email or my newsletter, you know I am slightly busy at the moment, and you know why. So I do apologize if I don't get back to you as quickly as possible, but I do um, see all of your messages, and I try and get back as quickly as possible. Don't forget, the join bonus is ending in a couple of days. You want to join with my team. We're a very, very active team. We do lots of fun things. Get $206 worth of product for only $135. Doesn't matter where you are in Canada. You could join with me from anywhere in Canada. I do some special activities, and there's some discounts with me for classes and stuff like that coming up. For example, in March, my team members get a slight discount from the event I have coming up in London. So email me or message me at northernstamper@gmail.com about the join bonus. I can help you figure out what to place in there. Oops. Don't forget, the kit sale is ending in a couple of days. Get up to 30% off on selected kits. That you can actually double up on with the join bonus. You can add these kits into your join bonus items and get extra off. All right, Takeaway Tuesday for December. I have been trying to figure out what am I going to do for Takeaway Tuesday, and I've decided I'm going to leave it to you to tell me what you would like to do for Takeaway Tuesday. Do you want to do fancy fold cards? Do you want to do 3D projects? Do you want to do scrapbooking? Do you want to use up some old stamp sets and items? If so, tell me which ones you want to figure out, and we'll use them up. We can use old DSP, old stamp sets, whatever. Do you just want to have an information session every Tuesday? I'm not sure. I think people like to come here and learn different stuff. Or do you want it to be a month-long worth of games, challenges, activities? Let me know. Comment or northernstamper@gmail.com. Let me know what you would like for Takeaway Tuesday. I'm very excited. All right, so what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be making a very interesting card. And I didn't quite post the dimensions for what the items are, but I'm going to go over them right now with you. Okay, so what we're going to do, you're going to need a card base. So I just got a regular card base, just regular like this, okay? Regular card base, fold it in half, and I think I've just lost my focusing. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is. A regular card base. Okay. I got a piece of a basic white, and you'll notice it's a little bit smaller than the card base. So it always has a nice edge. You know me, I love my edges. Also, what you want to do with this piece of basic white, you want to emboss it. So I went ahead and I embossed it. You can emboss it with anything, but what I did is it's kind of a subtle emboss on that. You can barely see it. This one is just got the cross hatches like that. So you want to emboss it. Okay. So we got that. We've got a strip of basic white, just a strip of basic white for our sentiment, or I would use actually one of the sentiments from that Joyful Sayings that I showed you earlier, but I've used them all up. I don't have any left. Sad, sad. So you need a sentiment, something to stamp a sentiment on, or use one of those Joyful Sayings. A small, tiny, tiny piece. This is actually really too big. A small piece of brown. This is soft suede. I'm going to be using that. The last piece that we need is DSP. So I have this piece of DSP, okay? It is kind of a larger piece, and it is, I don't know, 6 by 6. Let's make it 6 by 6. And we're going to be cutting this down. So that's what I want you to have, a nice large piece of DSP. So 6 by 6, depends on what side you want to use. Um, you want to have something that has something with green in it, like a green pattern. So this is a bit of a green pattern in it, and that's what I'm going to be using. The other side is the striped a real red. Hopefully this turns out really nice. Okay, so give me a thumbs up when you are ready and we will get started. Okay, so first off, emboss your piece of basic white. All right, I mentioned that, so I'm going to put that off to the side with my card base. It go off to the side, it goes, and these little pieces right here, these are going off to the side. We're going to be doing most of our work with the designer series paper, and what we need to do is do some cutting. I'm going to take my trimmer and I'm going to show you the dimensions that we're going to be doing. So the first cut we're going to do, okay, first cut I'm going to do, you want it to be 2 3/4. Oh, geez, can you see it? Are we out of focus? 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we want a nice square. So 2, so there's the 2, the mark for 2. Oops. 2 3/4. Okay. I'm going to cut that by 2 3/4. So I'm just going to turn it to 2 3/4. So we want to have a square. So there's 1. Okay. 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. Put that off to the side. The next cut we're going to do, so I'm going to use the same piece. Remember that piece that's left over? It's going to be a little smaller, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. So I'm going to take that again. Let's move that over. 2 1/4. There's 2 1/4. Turn it by 2 1/4. All right. Let's put that off to the side. So there we go. We got this one. That one's cut. We need to do 2 more. So there's this piece on this side. I'm going to put the dimensions on that. We're going to cut this piece 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. Another square, so 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. There we go. Put it in there, line it up. Oh, I better take that measurement off or turn it so you can see. There you go. And 1 3/4. Right. So that is another little square. There we go, 1 3/4. The last little square is going to be a little bit smaller, and it is going to be 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. You keeping up with me? So 1 1/4, put it in here, pop it in. I'm going to turn that by 1 1/4. Oh, I'm going to cut off those numbers, so let's just move that off. 1 1/4. Whoops. There we go. Oop. Okay. There we go. 1 1/4 by 1 1/4. A nice little square. So we have 4 little squares set up. All right. What I'm going to do is, actually, we are going to bring those squares back in and we're going to do some folding on them. And you're going to do the same kind of folding for all 4 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this. I'm actually going to flip it over and I want the green side. Okay. So I flipped it over. If not, we can always flip it again. And it just depends. We're going to do some folding and figure out what we're going to do. So what I'm going to do is, yes, it's this side. Sorry, I want the green on the back. Just thinking. So I have it in diamond shape, like this. I'm going to bring this bottom point up to the top. So I'm going to just fold it like this and make a nice crisp fold line here. Okay. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little point, this one, just the one point, and I'm going to bring it back down on itself, and I'm going to end it just where the fold line comes together. I'll bring it a little closer for you to see. So there you go. So I fold it, it was like this, and I bring it down right to so it's flush here. Okay. Now I'm going to do that for all 4 of the squares. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Any questions so far? Just want to make sure that I've made myself kind of clear. And now I'm going to kind of squeeze these lines. I want them to be nice and flat. And I'm going to do this for all 4 of them. So there's one. I'm going to bring in the other one, right? The green side is down, right? I'm going to bring this up to the top corner. Okay, fold, burnish the lines, bring the top point down from the first top half right down to the fold line. Okay, bring it back like that. So 2, again, green side down, point brought to the top. There we go. Burnish it. And as the DSP gets smaller, it gets a little tougher. Bring this point down. Oops. Only we need 1/2 of this. Bring the point down to the fold line. Burnish it. There we go. Look, they're coming together. And one more. Little tiny one. Bringing the point up. Oh, come on. See, as it gets tinier, it gets a little harder. There we go. And bringing the point for the top one back down. This is really a simple card once we're done with it. Okay, and bringing that down to the fold line. So now we have a bunch of these little kind of random shapes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these random shapes and I'm going to bring in my designer series paper. No, not my designer series paper, my basic white. I'm looking at the designer series paper, that's why. So what I'm going to do is we are going to create our little tree. So I'm going to put this angle, this piece right here, and I'm going to take the next size and I'm going to tuck it under. And you'll notice that I'm not gluing them just in case I make a mistake. So as I place it in, I'm tucking it in up to this line right here. So this portion of the DSP is get tucked in by the other one. So you'll see I got them tucked in and they kind of stagger. Now you'll notice that I don't have them glued down. It's just so that I can show you, and I want to make sure I want to have enough space at the top so I can add a little star. So I'm going to shift these guys down. There we go. And you can then, once you've figured out where it all kind of sits, right, you can glue this down. Now you can have it like a regular tree, or you can kind of, if you're into those avant-garde kind of funky kind of things, you can kind of angle them. That would look cool too. But what I'm going to do is I can see there's enough space on the top, right? I'm going to start gluing. Oops, we're all shifting around here. I'm going to glue the bottom one first because that's going to be the easiest. So I got the bottom bough of my tree here. I got a little spot for the stump, which is that brown, and I want to have a spot for the sentiment. Oh, you can't see. There we go. Hold on. A spot for the sentiment on the bottom here. So when you're spacing out your tree, make sure you have enough space for the bottom for the sentiment and the stump, and on the top for like a little star or decoration on the top. So again, I'm going to double check. There we go. Got enough space. Guess I could move it down just a smidgen more. This is why I don't like to glue right away. I kind of like to take my time and figure it all out. So I know that this is how far I want it. I'm not taking my finger off this bottom one. You'll notice I did not take my finger off. I'm going to keep my finger on this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just actually glue him down. I think crafting, you got to be part octopus when you create some things. Oh, it shifted. Again, double check. In the middle, left and right, even. I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to squirt some glue underneath. Bloop. I'm going to put that on. And actually, so that it doesn't move, I'm just going to stick my block on there. See, there's me as an octopus. So I have that first piece laid down. That's going to keep my base on. what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to start assembling the tree, and I'm going to go with the next biggest size. Remember, there's the biggest size on the bottom, then the next, and then the next, and then the next. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some glue onto the back here. And now you'll see why it's important to have some green on your DSP. So let's lift this guy up, lay it down. Okay, make it nice and even with that. Kind of have it in the middle. There we go. I guess I've got to shove him over a little bit. I'm going to put my block back down on him. You don't need to put a block on it, but I don't know. I like to think it kind of holds it in place just in case it shoves around. A little bit more glue on the next piece. Right? And we pop him on top. Put my block back down just to hold on to him. And my final piece on the top. All right, got my glue. And I gotta tell you, when you're doing this and your paper is directional, and I gotta show you when I'm done this, what happened. So my first card that I made, I did this step, right? And I actually used directional DSP, so this green had stripes on it. I got 1, 2, 3, and they were fantastic. And I completed the card, and I'm looking at it going, it's great, it's great. And then I realized my stripes, 1 are going this way, 2, 3, but my top one was going up and down, so I had folded it the wrong way. If you are using stripes on this tree, just double check that they're all going the same way. This one I did on the wrong way. Oh, but that's okay. All right, so these guys are nicely glued down. And what I'm going to do is, oh, yeah, I guess that's okay. I'm going to put a little bit of a kind of a dimensional underneath each one of these, just to kind of hold them up a little bit. Right? So I'm going to take my dimensional, going to flip this up, and just pop it on. And the reason I did that is because I don't want this flap to lay quite flat on the DSP. I want it to stand up a little bit. Now just be aware that as you're going closer up, if you're using the larger dimensionals, as you go closer up, you're going to have to end up cutting them in half or using a smaller one. So again, my dimensional under the flap, pop it down. Okay. And this one, I have a feeling I'm going to have to cut that. Okay. See if it fits. Oh, I think I can fit it underneath. Right. And the very last one, definitely have to cut. Oh. And I'm just going to use a very small piece. A small dimensional would work really well on that piece up there. Let's get a small dimensional, flip this up, tuck the dimensional underneath, and fold it back down. Now, some of these trees are kind of wanting to flop forward like this, right? What you could do, if you want, you can glue them, or you can just pop in a little glue dot just to kind of hold it. So I'm going to take a little glue dot. If you don't mind your little pieces flopping forward, that's okay. And I'm just going to put it just underneath. I just want it to hold closed. You don't need to do this, but if I look, I can see some of them are coming forward a little bit too much more. I don't know if you can tell, but I don't want that to happen. I want them to lay a little bit flat. So what I'm going to do is just fold it forward, pop a glue dot, or just glue it together. Oh, I'm having a rough day here. There we go. And one more. Thank you for all that are joining in and watching. I really appreciate it. Hello to Montana and Guelph. Oh, wonderful places. Okay, pop that back in. And another one for the top. Okay. This is a really easy card to do. And especially if you're using DSP, take a look. This is going to look great with any color. So there is my tree kind of done. You can see it's all kind of set up. I need to have a little bit of a stump there. I'm just going to grab a piece of brown cardstock and I'm going to cut a stump, just a little stump. And what happens is I can tuck this up underneath. Oh, I put glue there. Oh, I'm going to have to make my stump smaller. And I'm going to adhere with a glue dot. Right. Here we go. Boop. Pop it in here. And I'm lining it up with the point here where the stump is going to be. So there's the point. It's right underneath. Okay. Let's add a little sentiment on the bottom. Now I have a piece of basic white. Okay, I have a piece of basic white. Now I just grabbed some old stamp sets. This was Christmas to Remember. I like the font. I wanted to go all the way across, so I looked for something that was all the way across. So there's one that says Merry Christmas. There's more wishes I could get Merry Christmas, but I think that's going to be a little bit big. There is a stamp set from the Christmas Wishes, and that's exactly what it says, is Christmas Wishes. So I could add that, and you know what, that might actually work really nice. I'm going to, just to find out, I'm going to lay my stamp on top. So if I did Christmas and Wishes, oh look, it fits right across really neatly. That's one way to tell. So I just lay down your stamp. I think I'm going to go with this one. It's got a really nice script, and that Christmas Wishes kit has a really nice sentiment for the inside of the card, which I think is really nice. I'm going to stamp this, and I'm just going to use Memento Black. You could use green or red if you like. Okay. We're going to ink it up. Let's not ink on our card just in case. Ink it up. And remember, whenever you are using polymer stamps, I mean the kind that you can look through, like you can see through these, make sure you have something underneath, like a foam mat. I have quite a few. I'm using my stamp pad, my pad of paper, which is pretty thick. I'm going to stamp that on there, because if you don't, it's going to get it may get wobbly and not stamp in the right places. So make sure you have a Pearson stamp mat or something underneath. So there is the Christmas Wishes. I'm just going to cut this into a little tag. Okay. And I'm going to place it in here. And I'm going to eyeball it. I can see the track. Wherever the track is, that's where it's going to cut. So I'm going to close this. And I'm going to look. Can I see any of that ink through this track? No, I cannot. So that tells me that I can cut. There we go. All right. And I'm going to bring back in that piece. I can place it right on top like this. You know what? There we go. Right on top. I can place it on top. If you want, you can add a strip of another real red behind it. Do I have one? No, I don't, but I do have green. I could probably matte that a little bit, place it on top just to kind of break it up a little bit. There we go. A little bit like that. I'm looking for a color that I have close by. Oh, I do. This is just a little piece. I'm going to add a little bit. I could do white on white, but I think it doesn't. It kind of gets lost in the color there. You see, it kind of gets lost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to glue this on here, and I'm just going to add a little strip. Now, this is not part of the package. I just thought of this now. So what I'm going to do is cut a strip. Sometimes as we're crafting, we come up with ideas that we didn't have when we originally kind of put things together. Up. So I can see there's the banner. Let's see how big it's going to be. I'm just going to put my banner in here. If I put it down a little bit, I want a little bit more. Or I could just measure it and then deduct. And I'll shove it up a little bit more. There we go. Okay. I'm going to place this on here. There we go. A little bit of red on the banner. Looks a little bit nicer. Kind of pops up. Let's glue that down. I think that turns out. I don't know if you followed me enough. You'll find that I start doing something and I kind of get sidetracked with designing. So this little red banner, I think, adds quite, that definitely needed it. I definitely think that needed it, that red banner. There we go. I'm going to put it on here. Look, definitely looks much better with the red banner on there. Okay. I'm going to glue that down. And I'm going to butt it up so it looks like the tree is actually sitting on the sentiment. Oh, that looks really good. Okay, definitely go with the red banner. Okay, gonna let that dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna look for something on the top. Now, I could use some embellishments. I could use this giant, like, round circle, that gold one. That would look good. But you know what? I'm gonna look in my old stash, and in my old stash are, I could use that on the top, but I had these I think were from last year, little stars, or is it from this year? I can't remember. They're little stars, and I'm gonna actually just take one. I think it's from this year, and place it on top. Oh, stuck on me. Oh, now they've got glue on me. And place it right on top. Oh, look at that. See the little star on top? That turned out really nice. Oh, it's a little fuzzy, but you get the idea. Ah, that's so cute. That turned out really well. I like the star on top. I didn't have that on my original card. Yeah, you know what? Adds a lot. I'm going to put this on the card base now. We are almost done. Oh, you know what? Got to cut off these overhanging pieces. There we go. Oh, this is coming together. Fabulous. Just fabulous. All right, add that on there. And we're just going to pop it on the card. And that would be done. You can always add some oh, where were those gold embellishments? Oh, let's bring those back. Add some embellishments if you like. Put these around. We could put them on the tree or just around. Maybe not. Change my mind. I could add embellishments or just leave it the way it is. Huh. There's our card. Pretty simple. What do you think? Very easy folding, and it turns out really, really cool. Try this with some DSP. I'd love to see what your card would look like. I've used green and the red. You know what I was thinking? If there's something that's kind of Christmassy colors, maybe a pink and a blue or something like that. I don't know. I think it turned out really nice. I love this card. And this works great for some of your leftover pieces. Don't forget, if it's directional, don't make a boo-boo. Make sure they're all going the right way. Anyways, thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, please drop me an email, northernstamper@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a lovely day and are able to craft in your craft room. So there are the cards. Take care and have a great day. Bye.